How's it going, sports card fans, wrestling collectors? Tom here from CollectAWrestlePalooza. We're doing an old-fashioned mailbag video today. I finally have 3 packages to open. I haven't been opening that much because I haven't been buying that much, but I have 3 to open today. I'm going to tell you why I bought them. I'm going to tell you about why I like variants and also a collecting strategy that I'm thinking about using moving forward. Let's have some fun. Let's open these together. Let's see what I got.
CollectAWrestlePalooza, CollectAWrestlePalooza.
So as I mentioned, I have 3 packages today. We've got a padded envelope, a plain white envelope, and a box. I know what is in this plain white envelope, so I'm going to open it last, and I'm going to tell you a story and also plug an eBay store you're not going to want to miss. I'm really excited about opening this and had a great back and forth conversation with the seller. And this one here, I don't know what's inside. This one, I think I remember what's inside. So why don't we start with the box? It is marked fragile. Please handle with care, and I'm guessing it is a slabbed card, and I don't know why. I feel like it came in right after I purchased a slabbed card, but maybe it's not. I'm going to open this one up before I tell you the stories about the collecting strategy that I'm going to be trying and also the variant story. So if you want to hear more about that, stay tuned, but right now we're going to open up the good stuff. See what this contains. All right, so we are going to go inside here. I've got some packaging, some attractive packaging here, nice tissue paper. I think this is a slab. I think I was right, or maybe it is a tape. It's a tape. I think it's a tape, even though it didn't come media mail. I seem to remember buying a sealed cassette. If you watch my channel, you know that I will buy anything that piques my interest. And right now I am collecting sealed cassettes because I just feel like they have a really interesting future. There's such interesting period in history when these came out. Heavy metal cassettes, pop music cassettes, new wave, just a lot of interesting stuff happening in the 80s and 90s, and the cassettes had an aura. It really defined your personality. If you were growing up, that was, I guess, the MySpace or the Facebook of the time was your tape collection or your CD collection. So they mean more than the objects that they represent you. So let's open this one up, and I believe this is a sealed cassette, but I don't remember which one. And as I'm opening it here, these bubbles almost feel like a different type of plastic, like perhaps it's a biodegradable plastic or something that may be a little less harmful to the environment. eBay sellers, if you know what that is, leave a link and let us know, because I would be interested in purchasing some of that. And also, just so you know, in trying to be a good steward of our planet and our home, I do reuse all the packaging, so I make sure it has multiple lives and doesn't just go into a landfill. This is indeed a cassette. Oh yes, I'm not going to say that because for some reason people don't like that word, so I just had a weird edit, I'm sure, but is my business, and business is good. For some reason, that word people delete off of their YouTube videos, so I'm going to do the same just in case at any point I get monetized. This is by Combat. It's MXT8015. This is one of the first tapes by this heavy metal band, and it is a good one. So I probably am going to have another picture of it on the side, maybe over here, because the camera is not picking it up great. It is a very dark cover, but this is Vic. That is the fellow who is the mascot of the band, like Eddie from Iron Maiden, or I guess that would be the most common or comparable heavy metal icon or mascot or character. This is Vic, and this is a real life model of Vic. So it's just a cool cassette. It's very interesting, and it is Combat. I don't think it has any of the other record labels. It says Relativity Records and Combat. I don't think either of those are the big label. I think, where did they get signed eventually? Maybe on Capitol. So this would be an early cassette, and it's just a really cool artifact of the 80s. You know, it just is really new. Feels interesting to hold it. It has an aura about it, and it's heavy metal, so heavy metal fans tend to be pretty fanatical about what they own, so that's one of the reasons that I chose to purchase this one as well. Tell me what you think. Is it cool? Okay, now package number 2, which is this envelope here. It is a padded envelope, which means it's probably a slab or something like that. It is packaged all nice here in cardboard. Let's see what's inside. I'm getting excited. What do you think? Probably one of my favorite wrestlers on cardboard, and it is Abdullah the Butcher. This is a CGC 10 of a BBM 1998 wrestling card. So if you watch my channel, you know that I'm fascinated by this wrestler. I'm not a huge fan of the style of wrestling, but it worked. And I also admire using the hardcore style to make a living and to define that genre in professional wrestling. In other words, before the Sheik and Abdullah the Butcher and a few of the other hardcore icons and legends, that, or Classy Freddie Blassie even, the real blending of violence with the sport in kayfabe was not as prevalent as it was when these guys showed that the fans would believe and be scared of the heels. They really questioned whether or not Abdullah was crazy, whether or not this was really happening in the ring. Famously would wrestle in Puerto Rico against Carlos Colon and some of those folks, and the fans were just, against Bruiser Brody, and the fans were into it, and they'd be running away from the ring when Abdullah would go into the crowd, and people didn't know what was going to happen, and really just a very interesting time in professional wrestling. Surefire Hall of Famer, because he defined this side of the sport. And it's rare to find this card in a very good grade. CGC, I think, is strict like PSA and SGC. So this could be a potential crack and crossover, although I've never done that before because the CGC slab is very attractive. So why risk it? Why change it? Why not just accept a really nice grade here? So for wrestling cards, particularly ones that you want to look at, the plastic is known as being very clear on the CGC slabs, and that's why buying a CGC 10 is always something that I'm interested in, particularly in a fairly rare card like the 1998 BBM Abdullah the Butcher. And finally, here we've got the plain white envelope. Remember, I mentioned this is from Australia. It's from a seller called Joker's Cards. They reached out when they saw that I was buying this, and I told them that I would feature the opening of this on a mailbag. So here you go, Joker's Cards. Like I said, I'll give you a link in the show notes to your eBay store. Selling a lot of really interesting stuff. One of the product lines that they feature is the Market Scene Limited card set. And I had mentioned I was going to talk about variants. So the Market Scene Limited, I think it's in Series 1. There were some cards that came out and then they renumbered it the next year, maybe 89 and 90. And then they had a new list of superstars that were in the same series. Some repeats, but a few that they had removed from the series and a few they had maybe added. So the ones that were removed are more scarce, and I don't recall who the superstars are. I want to say Demolition, I want to say maybe Andre the Giant or Haku, but I can't quite remember. Please leave some comments and let me know, because what I want to do is I want to start featuring and or targeting collecting some of those cards. The other example is the 1989-1990 WWF Classic Series. Folks that watch my channel know I really like the aesthetics and the photography and the overall look of the WWF Classics. What I have come to find is that the 1989 Classic Series actually had 154 cards, whereas the 1990 Classic I think had 140. So there's 14 additional cards in the 89 set, including rookie cards of the Twin Towers. I think there's a card of the Hart Foundation that's not in the 1990 series. So I want to feature some of those cards. I want to start buying some of those cards and also illustrating on this channel those pretty cool variants, because it's not really a variant, but it's a more scarce card in the same series. Like Dusty Rhodes, mint on card Hasbro always sells for a premium because they yanked that one before they sold a bunch of them. So this is not a variant, so to speak, but it's from the Market Scene Limited, which has the variants in it. This, however, is a movie reference. And when you see the card, you're going to know what I'm talking about. I've long thought it would be interesting to collect wrestling cards that have movie allusions to them. And I'm thinking of something like Waylon Mercy, who's like Cape Fear, or the BBM cards of Jason the Terrible and Super Leatherface and Freddy and all of those guys that were the horror stars. Can you think of any others? I believe there are some that have either explicit or implicit relations to Hollywood movies. If you can think of them, leave some comments and let's start a dialogue about that, because I think that would be an interesting targeted collecting strategy. But let's get to this one. I want to show it because it is a movie card and I'm really excited about it. All right, so I'm going to open it up here. We're going to cut the top. It is a stiff white envelope. This came all the way from Australia. It says "Do not bend" over and over again. Lots of paper around it. And oh yes, it is in a top holder. And is there anything on top, or is it just kind of being held in with friction? I think it might just be friction. Here we are. Market Scene Limited, Zeus. Of course, the movie reference is No Holds Barred. I think his nickname was Tiny. He's certainly not tiny, but what a cool looking card. And of the Market Scene Limited series, I believe this is one of the rarer ones, or at least it's one that sells for more. The other No Holds Barred card specifically is Hulk Hogan as RIP or RIP. Debatable if it should be called RIP or RIP. I think it's RIP in the movie. Again, if you know, leave a comment and correct me. I'm just talking what I think I know here, and always, if folks have corrections, please feel free to let me know and inform me on this channel and also other viewers. But this is a cool card. This is number 2 out of 20 from Series 3. I'm just going to read the back of it. It says, Zeus, the human wrecking machine, appeared in the WWF movie No Holds Barred, which starred Hulk Hogan as WWF champion RIP. The massive Zeus became obsessed with envy of Hogan, and their film conflict spilled over into the WWF ring at SummerSlam and will continue with No Holds Barred, the match, the movie. So this is an explicit reference to No Holds Barred. This wrestler did also wrestle in the WCW using the same character, but not with the movie reference. So if you want the movie reference, this is the card to get. And really excited to have it. I don't have too many of these MSL cards, but they're really attractive. I like particularly the ones with the pink background. It really pops and is just a cool, cool image from the late 80s, early 90s. And that does it for this week. Here's what I'm buying. Abdullah the Butcher. We got some sealed heavy metal cassettes and the Market Scene Limited Zeus with the movie tie-in reference. Do you like these objects? What do you want to buy? It's fun. It's exciting. You can buy what you want. That's what keeps you young. That's what keeps life fun and fruitful. Be good to yourself. Happy collecting. CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.